The prevailing sentiment in modern society is that which you do not know is your failure, and that which you do know is your success. We have quips which attempt to cleverly encapsulate these dipoles. Ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is power. What you don't know won't hurt you. Knowing is better than not knowing, every time. Aristotle says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Einstein says, any fool can know. The point is to understand. And Socrates says, true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing, and in knowing that you know nothing, that makes you the smartest of all. Another way to look at it has to do with which of these two states, knowing or not knowing, is more beneficial to personal evolution. To the ancients, for an endeavor to have value, to be productive, effective, worthy, it must contribute toward one's personal evolution. According to the ancients, the purpose of life is communion with the one law, which is the goal of one's personal evolution along the path of peace, achieved through the act of communing with the forces of nature and the cosmos, to which we have access, and which are manifestations of the creative source of all things. According to the ancients, the only thing worth knowing is the one law, the All-Father. And the only things worth pursuing are those things which facilitate knowing the All-Father. Every other endeavor is for naught. To know God, an immaterial phenomenon, one who lives in the material realm must seek to know God's material manifestations. These are obvious and abundant in our lives. They are the forces of nature and the cosmos, which are within us and without us. Sun, air, water, earth, love, wisdom, power, joy. These are the vehicles of God's presence to us, gifts from the All-Father to assist us along our personal evolution along the path of peace. Seeking to commune with these forces yields health and peace to our body, our emotions, and our mind, the three experiential parts of who and what we are as corporeal beings. At first, one might think that the ancients, by means of positing that the only worthwhile pursuit is to seek communion with the All-Father, are saying we must all remove ourselves from society and industrial pursuits, swear off all relationships, romantic or otherwise, and commit ourselves as monks to a brotherhood or sisterhood of the cloth. While this may be desirable for a few among us, for the many, this is not a possibility. Not so much because they couldn't give it a good go, as that it is not their calling, their drive, their passion. It doesn't utilize their talents and skill sets optimally. In short, we are not all called to monastic lives. For those with callings, they have a responsibility to equanimity to be true to their calling, serving mankind by virtue of their talents, ambitions, and skills. For those who do not sense a particular passion, there are many tasks which serve mankind which do not require passion or talent. These we call vocations. So there is something for everyone: monks, talent, or skilled labor. The ancients taught that to know God, the Source, one must commune with His creation, the manifestations of which are the forces of nature and the cosmos, which we have delineated as sun, air, water, earth, love, wisdom, power, joy. These forces, the manifestations of the Creator, which are experiential to us, easily accessible and abundant within and around us, are angels assisting us along the path of peace toward personal evolution and communion with the All-Father. The pursuit of knowledge of these things is worthy, productive, and effective. The knowledge of these forces, through communion with them, is the most profitable endeavor one can pursue in their lifetime. Perhaps a better word than knowledge in the aforementioned statement is experience. To reiterate using this word, the experience of these forces, through communion, is the most profitable endeavor one can pursue. The path of peace, our personal evolution as enlightened beings toward communion with the All-Father, the source of all things material and immaterial, is facilitated through our everyday life. Our loved ones, those most dear to us, those in our sphere with whom we interact and engage, and through the carrying out of our calling or vocation, serving mankind both as individuals and corporately, assisting not only in the personal evolution of others, but in that of mankind as a species. to illuminate how communing with the forces of nature and the cosmos serves our personal evolution, while simultaneously allowing us to pursue our own unique path, as determined by our natural attributes and ambitions. Let's look at how we are to utilize these forces to our benefit along the path of peace. The forces of nature, sun, air, water, and earth, are directly related to our physical health, which support the health of our emotions and, by extension, our mind. Biological life on this planet was conceived by the interplay of these four elements, generating the proper components, conditions, and conduit for the emergence of life. They are essential to our health and happiness, to our stability and peace, to our sustenance and success as biological creatures. A deficiency of any one of these elements, and especially in combination, creates an imbalance in our organism which leads to illness and eventually death. The proper exposure to sun, air, water, and earth provides the basis for health and longevity, revitalizing our physical self, enhancing our emotional self, and sharpening our mental self. The benefits of communing with the forces of nature are scientifically, medically, and experientially verifiable. The forces of the cosmos, love, wisdom, power, and joy, are proven by scientific and medical studies to be beneficial to health and peace in every aspect of our life. Regardless of the calling or vocation you engage in, everyone has opportunities to affect others in their sphere positively, encouraging them, inspiring them, and spreading joy and peace. By being intentional in thought, compassionate in word, and mindful in deed, we progress along the path of peace while simultaneously creating the conditions for others to do the same. Showing love via acts of kindness, putting others first, exercising an inclusive and thoughtful perspective, approaching others from a position of patience and sincerity, and by treating those in our sphere with grace and consideration. We show wisdom by choosing our words carefully, being slow to anger and quick to forgiveness, by listening more than we speak, by seeking the counsel of elders and those more experienced, by contemplating the small still voice of intuition which resides at our spiritual center, by smiling easily and laughing often. We utilize our power to its utmost by first realizing that we have it, by recognizing in ourselves the power that we hold to influence persons, places, and things in our sphere for the better. Once we begin to see the opportunities which present themselves to us, falling proverbially in our laps, to enrich and empower those around us on a daily and hourly basis, we will begin to generate the mindset of power in our being, so that we will not have to be mindful of blessing others, but that we will live in a state of blessing others as a way of being. It will become our primary purpose, whether they be present or absent, that we embody a spirit of servitude, of giving and graciousness, that we become as having a perpetual heart for the creative act of consideration. The experience of joy is instilled first in ourselves, in the depths of our soul. This is accomplished by seeing beauty in all things, by seeing beauty in every soul we encounter, by valuing others, if not for who and what they are, then for who and what they could be, by treating others as if they were already their best self, the manifestation of their higher self, the perfection of their being. One should not be a reactionary, responding in kind to the ugliness that hurt souls present to them, but a conduit of joy, reflecting a spirit of peace and potential energy, that the other may be able to see beauty within themselves, beauty which they may not have been able to see on their own, the beauty which someone or something previously stole from them, but which you have the power to restore to them. Before you can radiate joy to others, showing those in your sphere the beauty that lies within them and within all creation, you must spend time creating and reinforcing your own inner joy, through the recognition of your own unique inner beauty. The forces of nature and the cosmos, when used in tandem, maintained and revitalized routinely by communion with nature and with one's higher self, found at one's spiritual center, are paramount to pure and holistic peace, and vital to success as a physical, emotional, and mental creature. The ancients taught that the only redeeming knowledge or experience is that of communion with the All-Father, through his manifestations of the forces of nature and the cosmos, as we have discussed above. The second form of knowledge, which the ancients advocated their followers to seek continuously, was truth, not facts and data, intellectual knowledge and information for their own sake, but the wisdom of the universe, the foundational knowledge which leads to an understanding of nature and the cosmos, the mind of God. The ancients taught that there are three paths to truth: intuition, nature, and the creative works of man. Intuition is God speaking to us through our higher self, which is found at the center of our spiritual being. It speaks to us, gently guiding us as to the true and proper, the right and just. Nature is God's handiwork, the most direct means of showing us the answers to all of life's questions, the solution to all of life's problems. Nature is God's wisdom set into motion, tangible and experiential to us. The creative works of man are God's messages to us by means of genius, which is the way in which mankind stretches out a hand, extending a finger to touch the outstretched finger of the divine, the cosmic ocean of thought, the mind of God. Genius is man's means of expressing God's thoughts as regards the state of humanity, the beauty he sees in us, and the perfection toward which we can strive. These three paths to truth, intuition, nature, and the creative works of man, are to be used as a triptych, revealing and reinforcing truth in their cross-applications and comparisons. What you know is death. It is not a living thing. It is stagnant and lifeless. It lays there staring at you with contempt and disdain. It sits in a state of arrogance and lethargy. It does not breathe. It has lost all interest in living, in growing, in reaching. Life and creativity, searching and seeking, growth and increase, wisdom, power, and joy are to be found in the unknown. It is curious. It is hopeful. It is yearning. In nature there are no answers. There are only questions. What appear to be answers are themselves only further questions. What you know is finite. What you don't know is infinite. Time spent in the known is loss. Time spent in the unknown is gain. True love, wisdom, power, and joy are to be found not in what you know. The purpose of life is one's personal evolution along the path of peace. What you know is behind you. It serves a purpose, but it is not progress. What lies ahead of you, the forward motion along the path of your personal evolution, the experience of true bliss and the joy of the unending question of the cosmos is seated in what you don't know.